Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. AR, why don't you try talking as I mute myself to cough?
Okay, you mute yourself to cough. I think I did that already.
They can definitely hear you. Oh,
Now watch them say in the comments that they can't.
oh no, they 100% can. I can fucking see the bars. If I see the bars, then it's not possible they don't hear you.
Maybe they're just lying.
The bars could try to lie. Normally, when I don't notice, it's because I'm paying attention to something else and I'm not actually looking at the bars and realizing they're not there. This time, I 100% see it. But we will let them comment anyways, just in case.
Let
I mean, nobody's
me switch
commenting,
over
so
to the other.
mic check dev.
Dev, say a
I'm
few
good.
louder words. Yeah.
I just hit my Wi-Fi was being a piece of shit, so I had to switch over to my extender. For some
It,
reason, it didn't like automatically switch over.
okay. Let's see. You guys ready to go?
Think so.
Okay. Welcome to the Wuto Podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark. I run with the will.
I'm AR Pulver, and I can sing better than at least one character in Ghost Game.
DevQ and I can't, so I'm not going to even try.
It's been an interesting week of Digimon. It's a very strange week for Digimon stuff. We got kind of like the weird, rare, random stuff from everything in some fashion, including some long-standing weird ones. Plus, in the most important news, the gum is on its way to AR and Dev.
Yes.
Oh, goody. Are we
Uh,
doing that on a specific show? Like, do I need to circle the?
last
I
show
need
of
to
the year.
circle a date and say save gum to last
Last
show
show.
of the year.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get the gum this week, and it's gonna have to sit in a box for a month.
To be fair, it's been sitting in a box for months, anyways.
I know. It has to wait another month.
Yes, it
Like
has
the
to
gum
wait.
got excited because it was on
Yes.
route, and now it's
Yes.
gotta
Along with it,
sit and wait
along
again.
with a stack of Blu-rays to delight and annoy,
Excellent.
which keep
Except
keeping the.
those I don't actually have to watch.
I think I picked some that you'll feel like, oh, I have to actually watch this. They're tailored to both of you,
Yes.
and I'm
That's
keeping them
The
all.
frightening.
horrible violence.
And I'm keeping them all secret except the ones you actually have to know, like Dev getting Wicked City because I told her about the movie and she said, "Yes, send that to me." Or AR getting
Yeah.
Cleopatra because I threatened to send it to him.
Oh yeah, you'd
Yeah.
mentioned that one.
And the
And Wicked
one
City you were gonna send to me, but until you found out that I owned it on VHS back
Well,
in the
no,
day.
no, I was gonna Wicked City was one where I went, "Okay, I'm gonna send this to one of you guys if you want it, but this needs a content double check before I just send it off in the mail to someone
It
unawares." And
it
you went,
certainly does.
yeah, I believe you said something to the effect of, "Nah, I don't need it. I have the VHS," or something along those lines. So then I told Deb about it.
Yep.
She's like, "Send that shit to me."
I mean, I haven't watched it in
Yeah,
15 years, but I
yeah,
watched it plenty of times
yeah,
when I had a VHS player.
yeah. And then I did a cheat so that I could not mix up and accidentally not send the gum to one of you. I had 2 extra copies of Arion, which we talked about on the show, so I just put the gum in both of those.
It's expected for
I'm going
delivery
to forget that
Thursday.
immediately and still gonna play Seek and Find when they show up.
Yep. And then, hey, look, it's a new episode of Ghost Game, the cursed song. I think we all had the same. Let's wait to see. I think the stream has reconnected. 1 second.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, YouTube's having a fit today. It appears everything is back up now. Bad YouTube. Bad Google.
Too much algorithm abuse by Digimon fans.
It's upset that we're gonna talk about this episode of Ghost Game that we all kind of just it's
It was a yeah, it was a this was the most meh episode of Ghost Game yet.
yeah. And the
I mean, that's
part
exactly what we figured it would be.
and it's the exact fear that we kind of had where it's like it's very meh, but it's also not really that different than any of the prior ones. It's just the show
Well,
needs to go somewhere.
yeah,
And
I mean,
and it
I was giving it one more episode to maybe get a little more out of Kishiro and Jellymon, or do a little more character work, and they sort of did a little more character work, and it just wasn't that interesting.
here's the problem. I know this is what's gonna make everyone shudder. This episode very much reminds me of 2020. It's not a bad episode, it's an amusing episode, but also it kind
Um,
of does nothing.
it
Yeah,
reminds me more of early Appmon or Savers, is what is the
That
closer
that
parallel for me.
okay, but that's even less of a compliment.
No, no,
Yeah.
it's not. I'm not trying to be. I mean, early adventure, early 2020 was. I was still reasonably
Well,
optimistic
I
for the
don't mean
show.
early 2020.
Early.
I mean generic 2020.
Oh, you mean
L-
filler arc
Yeah, like when there's
2020?
random episodes
Yeah,
where we went, there's nothing wrong with this episode, but nothing has happened for X episodes and something needs to
sure,
happen and
sure,
yeah. So that's the
sure.
thing is I like the episode. It's just I kind of just go, there's something I need something to happen. They're kind of like even they're repeating the oh this isn't the digital world okay it's each of them has their vital bracelet um background
Yeah,
and
which there's some interesting stuff that they put out there. Like, there is new information presented.
yeah
You
just
know, I
not
mean, each
well
of them having their own digital world background, and Goromon again raising the question about evolution. That means it's something that they would presumably explore later.
yeah
There's enough stuff in here that they're asking questions, which I appreciate,
yeah
because when they ask, that suggests that they will answer them later, and that's good to know.
to be fair we've had that we've run into that problem before.
Yeah, but
I would like
I
to believe they're coming though.
yeah, this one I feel more confident that they're going to
Yes,
actually explore it.
the
It's
show
it's
the
not
show
like, it's not like the 2020 missing laptop situation, where they don't actually ask the question. They don't really ask the
no
question. It just sort of happens.
yeah so
And
this
they don't
episode
ask the question, which is where you get worried.
and this episode we get karaoke.
Karaoke.
eh. I mean,
I
honestly,
On
the
the
most interesting part of the episode was really kind of like actively dragging Hero around looking for hologram ghosts, and it's like, oh no, it's just a Digimon.
Yeah,
It's fine.
and
she's
she's
unsatisfied when it's a Digimon. It's like
yeah
she wants to find a real one.
it's that part actually didn't work for me for a key reason is t- there's no functional difference to the average person and even if there is and she because she knows about it it's still like there are crazy creatures running around that should be something
That
interesting for
should
her
be
to
enough
do.
to. You could get a YouTube channel out of
Yeah,
that.
yeah, there's no I need some sort of is it just that because she needs it to be ghosts is it
Yeah, like,
because it exists she's not interested anymore?
she could call them ghosts and people would still believe it.
People call them
It's
ghosts.
like
People call them
Yokomon
ghosts.
practically is a ghost anyway.
Yeah.
Side
Yeah,
note,
it's
fun
just
to see
like
Yokomon appear.
I know, and I like that he was grumpy. It's just like, oh yeah, I picked up this
Yeah,
chick wallet at one point, but now they keep leaving shit here.
yeah, that was very on character for
So
Yokomon.
maybe it feels so. Maybe this is unfair. Is anyone else getting really disappointed by the narrator?
He kind of hypes things up more than
Yeah,
they actually happen to
it
be.
feels like the narrator was supposed to do something, and now it's sort of just fallen into like generic episode by episode narration, and then there's also some generic question posed in the end narration.
It
Yeah,
it feels
it's
like the blurb on the back of an R.L. Stein book.
yeah, and that sort of is in keeping with the overall theme of the
It
show.
is,
You know,
but also like
and that
they hyped that up so
and
much
even
though
if
it felt like something was gonna happen.
But even if the payoff doesn't really work with that stuff, the fact that they do have this a nice little consistent theme to lean on, and that you still get the visuals of, oh look, there's people being
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
pretend tortured, and there's some there's some cheap
You're
thrills in
right.
here, and yeah, ooh, spooky narrator.
Yeah,
It all kind of works, which is something to respect in an episode like this, where if they have nothing else going for them, at least this part of it is
true.
consistently entertaining.
No, that's true. And then Yokomon shows up, which people were very happy with, and
Yeah.
that's like a multi-layered fucking voice cameo. If that wasn't planned out every aspect of it, I would be shocked. Because so you have Susumi Chiba, who played Renamon in Savers Another Mission. Then of course he's most known as Yamaki in Tamers, and here he's ranting about people bothering him,
That was
which
fantastic.
where the setup feels a bit reversed off how he acts in Tamers. And of course, he was also Taichi and Hikari's dad in Adventure and Try.
Mhm.
I forgot that part.
And he was Roto Nightmon in Savers, I believe, on top of various other bit roles.
Oh yeah, Roto Nightman was in Savers.
Roto
I
Nightmon
forgot about
shows up
that.
at random and everyone forgets, minus Frontier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not
Because
Cyber
usually,
Sleuth
like
so
when he
much.
shows up with the other characters, there's the other royal knights that are,
Yeah.
having
Which
more of
was the
like
case in
a
was the case in
role.
Savers.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing is did the animation seem more lively in this episode, especially at the beginning? Like Gamamon walking around looked like fun, even. Like
Yeah, a little bit. A
everyone
little
had a
bit.
bit more bounce to their step, it felt like. And they remembered Ruli exists. For a bit, at least.
I mean, they remember she exists. They not don't necessarily remember any striking characteristics about her, but they do remember she exists.
There's a good
She's
Sora
an
joke to make.
instigator.
There's a
She's
Sora
the
joke to make.
instigator. Yeah. She's the instigator.
And
And she drags Hito along on her little escapades, and she only half remembers that Kiyoshiro's on the team now
to be
and doesn't
fair, he
really
was just
care.
there because he got yanked there by Jellymon.
Right, right. And she's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're here too. I guess you can join us for our mission."
And she
Yep,
gave him
whatever the fuck your name is.
a nickname because she could not remember
Oh,
his name.
To be fair, his name
I'm
is
glad they're
long.
making jokes about that because he does have an absurdly long
Well,
name.
no,
And it's good
they
that
she couldn't remember his first name.
yeah.
His
I
personal
mean
name,
even his
I
first
couldn't,
name's
I couldn't remember either of his names.
not the long crazy one. She didn't remember the other one. She was
even then,
stumbling
like
on that.
Kiyoshiro's
I get it
Kiyosh-
flows well, at least, to be honest.
yeah, Kiyoshiro Higashi Mitarai is a
Yeah.
pretty it's a mouthful when you
Yeah.
put it all together. Like it wouldn't be quite as effective if it was just like Kiyo Higashi Mitarai. It's got to be 4 syllables.
And then before we
Like he's
get to,
got like 7 kanji in his name. It's great.
and they did it on purpose just to fuck with. I
They
like that
totally did that
they
on
did
purpose. Yeah.
on purpose to fuck with the character is the best part. Like there's no reason to
Mhm.
do that for the character in any form. And then before we get to the episode's villain, hey, that's a familiar. They couldn't use any of the Ghost Game songs because we wouldn't have recognized them.
Hi. No joke. I heard that song and immediately associated with this is an ending to Digimon, and just because I can't remember what the ending to Ghost Game sounds like, I went this must be the ending to Ghost Game until I checked Twitter after the episode and I was like, oh, it's the ending to Adventure. I'm like, oh, that's
No,
why it's familiar.
see, it's one of those things where I'm sitting there and I'm going, na 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 na. I'm like, I know this fucking song, but I can't place it because I'm not hearing it clearly enough. It does more and more. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the fucking original end song to
Yes.
Adventure.
The background isn't filled with moody Yamato shots.
Yeah, man, and every single clickbaiter knew exactly what to go with for that one.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
Manipulate the algorithm.
and I'm gonna mock May for that one for all the silhouette of Taichi and the colon cameo image they put up.
I didn't actually see the image, but I should just
It's
mock
a
him anyway.
screenshot of the episode, and they blacked out a Tai Chi profile picture and put it in the image and put big text cameo whatever. I don't remember the rest of the text. It's like, so the users prefer adventure to Ghost Game. That's interesting that every clickbaiter
I mean,
jumped
the
at that one.
algorithm does. The algorithm does for sure.
Yeah, it was amazing how quickly everyone went with that one, and every single one was Tai Chi, Agumon, or both.
Mhm.
Not gonna try to go, oh, Joe's shown up.
I mean, they could have at least used Yamato. The ending theme was
You
sort of
would
tailored to him.
you'd think someone would have used Mimi. Mimi in 2020 was so loved that feels like an obvious one to use.
And Mimi does have a track record with the singing
Yeah.
at some point in Adventure. Maybe
Oh,
not Reboot Adventure,
and
but
then Sirenmon finally gets an anime appearance. And
yay.
this is where casting news ahead of time would have been fun because Nana Mizuki not only hasn't had a Digimon role, she's known for how much stuff she sings and for like playing diva type characters.
Mm-hmm.
So like one, that would have been great marketing to tell us she's in it, and two, last week we would have sat here going, "Oh, it's going to be some recent song of hers or something."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's instead of us speculating that they were going to use something from, or us hoping, or guess I guess it was more hoping is what we said, that they'd use something from a past Digimon season.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they
They
could have
did.
they could have made a Naruto joke.
Oh God.
It's Boruto's mom. Boruto's Taichi.
I would have
Yes.
liked to see Siren singing like rocks or something.
But yeah, Sirenmon
That just would
works.
have taken everybody out of the episode.
Sirenmon worked well in this episode for the setup, I thought.
Except at
Eh,
the end, it just feels like, oh, this Digimon isn't evil. We can just
Well,
solve the problem now. It just
that
feels
that
really, really abrupt.
Yep,
that's
do that
that's
again.
that's the show. And
That's
and
yeah.
oddly, Jellymon's being helpful for some reason.
Yeah, that's the sort of character development I was afraid of.
But that's the thing; she's not
I
being
want to.
helpful for any specific reason. It's just the plot requires her to run around and be helpful with Ruli.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she got a few good digs in, like her utter disinterest in the fact that Rudy almost died. Like that was cute. But yeah, this is sort of like, yep, she's cooperative now. It's just
Yeah.
they sort of gloss over the fact that she doesn't need to be cooperative in any
Yeah.
fashion.
Um, and then we mentioned it earlier, the different pseudo digital world, which great use of the marketing, the vital bracelet. There's one flaw with this, though. Honestly, they should have picked a different thing for her because if you aren't paying attention, you wouldn't even notice this isn't the
Hard.
same one.
Yeah, because Heroes is very urban and they're running through a city as it is, so it does become a little
Well,
bit
no,
tricky
Heroes isn't
to.
city. Heroes is
Looks like a
grass stuff.
Grass put on
well,
top of
Yeah.
city.
Well, no,
grass put on top of city.
it goes on top of wherever they are, regardless. Like
Mm,
hers is forest
it's more
on top of the
grassy.
city they're on. But
Heroes is more grassy,
yeah, but what
but
I
it's
mean is
more
that
it's more
to the average
It's still in the
viewer,
really generic
no, that's what I
greenery.
mean. To the average
yeah.
viewer, it's not
They're
clear that this
more
isn't just a forest area.
yeah. Like Hito is city on top of grass and Rudy is trees on top of grass.
Did Now I'm thinking about, did we see the environment from Kiyoshiro's watch last
I don't
week?
think he
Nope.
hasn't used
I
one.
don't think.
Hito used his
y-
last time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he did, but they've genericized it now to the
No.
point that I had to think about it.
Yeah, no, last week was Hero
Yeah,
using his.
yeah. So Hiro does his powerful, terrible singing, and everyone shakes hands, and she walks off, and man, these Digimon that keep walking off to teach themselves things, They really need to be helpful later for this to work.
Oh yeah, you'd hope so. That does feel like they're setting up for that. At
Yeah.
least you hope they are. There's no
And
guarantee on this one.
no, and we get further confirmation that Kiyoshi really has fallen into the anime hole when him commenting that he's glad he didn't have to take off his band-aid to help.
Yeah, that makes me like, is that
Oh,
that
that
has to have some sort of payoff one way or the other. Either there has to
oh
be
no, I
something
know what
there,
the
or
I
it's
know
gonna be completely
this is one
nothing
no, this
happens.
is 100% from one specific show that Digimon's referenced before. It literally is that it's nothing. It's just he's bored. Or there's some
Mm,
trauma that makes
mhm.
him decide that he has to do it. There's nothing there. This is literally the exact same reference with that for for Impmon X.
Okay.
Although Impmon X was more explicit with the reference because the character from the show actually does it's with an eye patch in the show. So with
Oh,
Impmon
okay.
X, it was far more of an explicit reference. Here, it's the same reference. They're just being slightly more cutesy with it. Especially since in the row of anime stuff, they had various parody shows that very much suggest that show would be on his shelf somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah. The name's too long. I never remember it.
Chunibyo and Other Delusions, I think.
Yeah, but that's not the one that's gonna love Chunibro and other delusions. It's 100% that show again because Itmon
Mm.
X was so explicitly that show is to almost be funny. Here, they're at least being a little bit more cute about it. And then it ends with Gambamon singing.
Which was adorable.
Yeah, that
It
was
was.
cute.
It was. I want something to happen though. I don't want the show to fall into the rut of and then this week is the generic adventure doing Y, and then generic adventure. It's it's very close to that hole.
Yeah.
And
We gave it, I said it's like 6 episodes, that's all you get, now you gotta do something.
we'll see. I get the feeling we may be waiting until 10 or 12 for something to happen. I think this is going to be the first core. I think it's and the I think the big problem with that is I think this is about when you get kids start tuning out if something doesn't happen in a couple episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
It's
next week we have Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
yeah.
Great reference for
Yep.
the kids. They'll know that one.
It's got Yatagaramon, I'm happy.
Uh, it feels like it's a good setup for action regardless of anything else, and that should work. It please do something. I know people can go, "Oh, I don't need the action. It's very good." I actually tend to agree with that, but it is
Yeah,
a
I want violence.
it is
with
an
that, it
it is a kids show in an action block. Half an hour before the biggest action show there is, you have to give them a reason to stick around, and this hasn't done it so far.
yeah, I agree to that to a point that you don't need action, but, every so often you do need to
Yeah,
bust it out. And
yeah.
they haven't actually won a fight yet.
Have they even
It
had a full fight technically?
No, they've gotten it to the point where the closest they've come is basically beating them down to say, "Hey, stop it." And then
Yeah.
the Digimon says, "Yeah, okay, I'll cut it out." And they
Then he
leave
didn't.
and will probably come back later.
Yeah. But yeah, so we can see the potential. We just need something beyond what we're getting. And like you said, next week maybe lots of birds. And that's the title, birds.
Birds.
Burb.
Burbs.
Yeah. And then we get an interview with Masatoshi Chioka, one of the two directors.
Speaking
And
of promises to answer stuff,
oh, see, I don't even believe he did that. I think the one that everyone looks at is the if Digimon who haven't materialized in the real world can't touch people, can't see them, and they can't be seen the normal people, then how come Clockmon and Mummymon were able to be seen and attack normal people? Was one of the questions asked. And his response was, I can't reveal that to you just yet, so please keep watching the show. And then he laughs. That may not be an actual promise of something being being done, that may be hedging and saying, "Oh, well, you have to watch the show."
I mean, that could be they are now aware of this inconsistency and will try to write something in to explain it later.
At this point, that'd be in
But
like the
either way,
30s or
it's an
40s.
acknowledgement. Yeah, possibly. Either way, that's an acknowledgement that the inconsistency
Yeah.
exists. Whether or not they were doing that intentionally to this point, now he has to make it look like it's on purpose.
Yeah, because if they don't, then that's where you fall into the hole of you promised, which he did. To be fair, he didn't. He's giving a very generic response, but he
Yeah.
genericized the response so much that everyone thinks he's promised that, oh, you're definitely going to get an explanation for this.
Because I've done
And
that in my writing so far, where I caught a plot hole from earlier, and then go,
yeah,
"Oh, I should write a workaround for that
yeah,
later on before anyone calls me out on it."
yeah.
Just
But
hand wave that bullshit.
yeah, overall, it's a very nice, but
Well,
also exactly
you
what we
say
expect interview.
it's not quite hand waving though. Hand waving is just hand waving is a little different. Hand waving is like, yep, that's an inconsistency.
No,
Like that's just
it's
sort of
hand wave.
acknowledging that that's a
No,
thing.
it's hand waving in the sense that we don't know what he's actually acknowledging in the response. He could be saying, "Oh, you'll get that answer was coming, so I can't say anything about it." Or it may be literally him going, "Oh, it's the mystery of the show." That will da 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 da. That could be hand waving it away, so he doesn't have to comment that. Oh, that is there.
Hand waving is just flat out saying a wizard did it.
Yeah, and that may be what this is what I'm saying. Going,
Eh,
"Oh, I can't reveal that. You have to keep watching." That's not really an answer.
it's not an answer, but it's not a
It's
it's
cl-
not a
it's
fake answer either.
Yeah, it is because it suggests an answer, or
Well, hopefully we get something.
or at the very
Yeah.
least, it suggests an answer to people who are looking for one.
Right, and that's where
I
like
think that's
you're
close enough.
it's definitely kicking the can, but now I
Yes,
think the
they,
expectation for an answer grows.
exactly.
Where before this I wouldn't have expected one. Like if they
No,
just wanted to let that
exactly.
inconsistency
No, it
and
would have been
just leave
fine.
it there and the nitpickers can go at it, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have cared.
No,
Now
neither
I'm
would I.
kind of expecting something.
Yeah, now you actually have to deal with it because you've kind of promised it. Not really, but close enough.
Yeah.
You acknowledged
Yeah.
that the question exists.
And then he comments about him having a bandana in Digimon Adventure. Which is still just very amusing that him and the producer were both characters in the original show. And the one other interesting thing is that does it feel like he almost kind of said that Jellymon was inspired by Lopmon? No answer?
Not really, because my brain still keeps going, yeah, this is totally Nagatoro.
I'm trying to decide if AR is even still connected or not.
No, I was answering something on the chat.
Okay.
I wasn't listening.
Okay.
But you know I tune out for most of the time you ask questions.
No, I know you do. And then next up, we have X antibody products.
Which I was definitely not expecting.
No,
Ever.
Yeah,
it's interesting because they look very nice for people who want them. There's also a very much a theme here that does suggest it's less about X antibody than you would think. Can anyone see the theme? Look,
Printing money?
It's War Greymon, Metal Garurumon, and friends, and not anyone you would actually associate with the X antibodies standing alone. To be honest.
Well, I already got my Zoromon that won the thing, so
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about any other anybody Digimon
I don't
anymore.
know. I like the acrylic stands. I think they look nice, to be honest. I think the problem here is it kind of gets into and here's a keychain and an identical keychain with different art and here's some towels. It's a bit too much at one time, I think. I think it would have worked out better if it's like, okay, here's War Greymon X and Metal Greymon X stuff, and then you tease a second wave rather than just everything thrown
There's the
at the
same
same.
exact art on like 10 different things.
Yeah, I think that would have helped. Because I think part of the issue is it also gives people the idea that, oh, they must be doing something with the X antibody stuff to do all this at once. It's like, this is the type of stuff I almost would expect to see if they did a pop-up shop.
I'm
Almost.
surprised there isn't any Omegamon. Well, more Omegamon on it.
Because I think the idea is if they put Omegamon here in Wave 1, they can't figure out anything based on that. Because once Omegamon shows up, I think the game completely changed. So, pre-orders are up for all those. They'll ship in December and January. I keep trying to decide if I'm going to be tempted by any of these, and I think the answer is no. I kind of like
I
the
mean, the acrylic stands are neat, but I would have liked if they were more like cut out instead of just, oh, okay, it's just printed on a rectangle.
well, no, the energy pieces are definitely cut out because some of them go around them. Like the Metal Greymon one has the ring around him. These are definitely cutouts. These aren't just flat
Oh, okay.
pieces. Yeah.
Okay, I was looking at something different
Okay.
angle.
Oh,
Okay, I
you're
see that
looking at
now.
the acrylic plates or the whatever those are called.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
those suck.
Yeah, I'm talking about the stands where like you can where like they've cut out smoke effects. There's an energy ring around Metal Greymon where you actually have to assemble pieces.
I was looking at the plates. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's boring as shit.
See, the plates are actually the type of thing that would look nice on a desk, I think. Although I admit the only plate that tempted me at all was the Metal Greymon one because the wider design actually looks kind of nice to me. But yeah, it'll be
It kind
interesting
of
to see.
looks like it's flying.
Yeah, that one works. The others are kind of too flat. And then we have the final tally for Let's Make Digimon Goods. And man, these numbers really fucking change towards the end. Like it's not even close. So Doraemon was one with 190, then Chibimon with 160. Go ahead.
Again, embarrassing how low these numbers are.
Gomamon for 149, Impmon for 104, Offmon 91, Shoutmon 44, and Haramaki, Patamon, and Lalamon each get 30. This also tells you exactly how much people screaming for Doraemon can actually do if they watch for numbers being manipulated. You can do a little bit better than Gomamon, who, as much as I like Gomamon's a third or fourth stringer, basically.
Among that
Yeah.
crowd, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say
Doraemon
so.
should have blown away everything because that crowd should have shown up for this because this is finally what that fan group wants is a Doraemon plushie. That's what they've
Yeah.
demanded for basically everything, and they didn't even hit 200.
Yeah.
Which means
I
when
forget. Does partners allow like signups outside of Japan?
you can, they don't like it, but they won't actually stop you.
Ah, okay. Because I was looking for a while ago. It's like, huh.
Oh no, it's very
Yeah.
easy. It's not only very easy to sign up. One of the sign up options is for like, where in Japan are you? And the last option is like outside Japan. It is explicitly very easy to sign up for it. It's just that unlike the Digimon web polls, we know for a fact they were smashing out the problem votes this time. Like at one point, Offmon was at like 250 or 300, I think. Like any
Mhm.
fake vote they were smashing
Yeah,
out
it
here.
was up in the. It
Yeah.
was in the. Definitely, everyone pretty much was in the hundreds.
So with the promise of plushies, Gomamon beating Impmon, it feels like Impmon should have ranked higher. Honestly, I would have thought,
With
but
that crowd, yeah,
but
yeah.
that also shockingly, this almost
And
lines up
Impmon had a big share of the manipulation too.
Yeah,
Like a
but
lot of the manipulated votes was going to Impmon.
this also lines up almost with exactly what you would expect, to be honest. So Doraemon got up high. He doesn't get much, and this is one that people have demanded for years, and he won, but not by all that much. Then you get Adventure in 02, roughly in line, drops down a lot for Tamers, drops down more for Atmon, and then at the bottom you have Crosswords, Frontier, and Savers. It feels about right, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially since Frontier and Savers in particular are pretty weak entries if
Yeah.
we're representing them.
Frontier and
Yeah, 'cause
Savers has
the
the
only
issue
thing
of
you really could have had is, like
Pokemon.
Lalamon or Kudamon. The other ones are friggin' huge.
Yeah. I would have
Yeah.
accepted Bokomon for Frontier.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that would be
well,
yeah,
we've talked about the
it's fair.
Frontier
I mean,
issues.
yeah, and Pokemon, and I
Yeah.
mean Pokemon's not that any harder to make than Shoutmon, so
No.
yeah.
So we're getting the life-size Doraemon plushie. People are like he's gonna be. Seen multiple people go. They're gonna make him the size of X Evolution, and I guarantee. This is one of those rare times when we'll go. We're 100% sure they're not doing that. This is gonna be
It is going
Rai-Rai's
to be
size.
his yeah, this is going to be his smallest official appearance.
Yes, because the only way you can make Doraemon work in this poll is by doing that. Otherwise, it would fall into the same thing where Gilmon got knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Chibimon gets
Too
a
much of a
plush.
big boy.
Me and Dev are each gonna be overspending for that.
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah. And then the Kizuna smartphone type Digimon smartphone case, which already won earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide.
That's a slam dunk.
Yeah, there's gonna off the top of my head, I'm gonna say there's gonna be 2 different iPhone sizes, and then a generic Android type size.
Mm-hmm.
And
If
then
that.
yeah, that's the weird thing is you all because I'm not sure you can do an Android one that would snap on as a case. That's why most Android cases for this type of thing are, it fits into a pocket and then something holds it in place. And I guess the question is, how many do you think they will do design wise? 2? Just one?
2.
Two or
I'd go
three.
2.
I'm gonna say Dev probably hit the nail on the head because it will be something like Taichi Yamato and then they'll do Daisuke or something like that. Although
Yeah, because
Daisuke,
it's not like they really have to go out of their way to make new art or
well,
anything. They
that's
literally
the.
just.
Oh, see, I
Forgot
expect
what
these to be 3D. I don't expect these to be flat prints.
Well, I totally expect them to be like completely flat.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's
I would
not.
guess that too.
See, I think they would do something a bit nicer because they want to do the more expensive vote and then buy this expensive thing. If one of the first things they do
If
is
they do
shit,
that, and make it actual 3D, I would think they'd only make 2. If they do flat, there's more freedom to
oh,
do more
if it's
options.
not flat, then they definitely can't do Daisuke because it would need different molding. The design on the back is actually
Right.
different for. Okay, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
I figure just be completely flat print. And they just swap the colors and the crest symbol, and
see,
that's
Yeah.
all you're
That's
getting.
what I was imagining too.
the main reason
Not
I
that you
don't
can't get those. Not that you can't get those on Redbubble
the main reason
already.
I don't think they'll do
Yeah.
that, they already sold that officially. They did that. Is the only reason
Yeah, I was
why
just
I
figuring
think
they'd
we'll
do
get
it
something
again.
nicer. No,
Yeah.
but see, the whole thing here was to make stuff to be bought that in theory would be a bit nicer. So it'll be interesting to see though. And yeah, those votes tell us a lot. Man, with the Will's gonna have to shut down numbers like that. And then another product. See, now this is literally just the repaint product. The Dim Card Holster Volume 2. It's the holster, but it's green and gold. But new Dim Card. And this really feels like it's very much aimed at the people who did not get the neon green one, doesn't it?
Yep, it's like, oh, here's Wormmon now.
Here's Wormmon instead of Vmon, and you need to buy it because if you don't, you won't get Paladin mode. And also 2 Poochymons. I have to be honest, I actually like the lineup of this one. Most of them feel like a really nice lineup for Wormmon.
Buggy supremacy.
And a number of people are very happy that Digimon shows up.
Same.
Yeah, but I think it's a nice lineup. And this one will not be sold. This is premium Bandai only. Bit under $20. Pre-orders open. Pre-orders close in a month, and it ships in March. And I assume I will get this one, and it will go into the pile of random collector's junk that I don't need.
I'm probably passing on this one.
Now, if you were to guess, what color holster will Volume 3 be, and what will it have? I think you go Savers or Frontier, to be honest. Because Tamers,
Maybe an orange color.
they've drained most of Tamers thus far. I feel like you go Frontier Savers or Savers for that one. Like maybe do like Savers Agumon or something.
Yep, because Agumon prints money no matter which one it is.
I would say do Lalamon, but we've seen how successful that will be.
Maybe they'll do a 2-pack where it's like Galmon and Lalamon.
I think they will keep doing this set. I don't think they'd add a second one to this. Actually, Dev, you accidentally came up with a great idea. Dim Card Holster Volume 0, and it comes with the Primeval Warriors and Ancient Warriors.
Ooh.
And it comes with
Well,
both.
that would piss off a lot of people.
And you color it like Pale Dramon. To be fair, what has been announced for the Vital Bracelet that has not pissed off people? And
That's true.
And that's a reason not to make it Tamers. Every time anything Tamers has happened, it just implodes. And then Human Bandai USA has announced their Black Friday and Cyber Monday promos. Basically, it's discounted shipping. And yeah.
Which actually makes, getting a couple things I've been looking at worth it.
Yeah.
To be fair, their shipping isn't as expensive as it used to be. It's like $10 now. It's not where it used to be like 20 or 30 and they shipped it from Hong Kong. This is all like I believe they warehouse in the US now or they ship it in batches, so it's $10 rather than was it 30 or
Ouch.
35 at the old one? It was something
I think it was
cartoonishly
like
expensive.
Yeah, it was stupid high. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not basically paying the
Yeah.
entire cost of the thing that I bought in shipping.
No, exactly. Here it is just like $10. It's relatively normal. So it's at least not insane. And then the cards keep on rolling. And while we were talking last time, Wallace gets a card.
I was surprised as shit. And I really shouldn't be after Oikawa.
Yeah,
after Oikawa, I think that's Wallace's fair game.
Yeah, I was trying to decide if I was surprised by this or not, and they're going so O2 heavy. It's not that surprising, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it lines up very nicely. Very nice looking card. Then they continue. We got Plasma Shoot for Magnamon. Ultimate Brachymon, which people were very happy to see this one. And very nice sense of scale in the art.
Much for him.
No, he showed up. Didn't he show up in one of the Vital Bracelets recently? He doesn't traditionally show up, but it feels like he's shown up a bit lately. And then the one that felt like it confused people was Skull Knightmon Cavalier mode.
Cavalier mode, not what I would expect immediately, but
it's very much one of the lesser isn't the right terms, but it's very much one of the Cross Wars quickie ones. So I actually kind of like that it shows up, but I would like to see some of the more interesting weird crosses if possible. And then Gazimon people seemed very excited for.
It was adorable.
Gazimon is strangely popular.
Yeah. Then
it's like a bunny, but kind of like he stuck his claws into an
evil bunny
electric socket.
And then the one that seemed to surprise people, and I'm honestly shocked how many people were surprised by this. the Digimon Kaiser.
Yeah,
I am
again,
fucking hyped.
This was
zero two.
this
Like,
was really
yeah.
like an obvious one.
Uh-huh.
And we got that, open arm pose that he used in the show a few times.
Like, yes, just hand
Yeah.
that shit up.
Yeah. And then Candmon. This one seems to be
Also
reminding
very cute.
everyone seems to be reminded of Beauty and the Beast from this image.
Oh god.
Be our guest. Be our guest.
Exactly. Then they kind of jump back to previews we'd gotten before where we get his Yarumon.
Isyaruman.
Yeah. And I believe there's still one Ryudomon form left that we haven't seen, I think. We haven't seen
Yeah.
the adult one whose name I don't remember, I don't think. The one that looks like
That's
kind of
yeah.
derpy. Well, you know what I mean.
Gigurumon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I do.
And then we got to see
I can't remember
Ankylomon.
any of their names, but yeah.
No. Ankylomon looks great. Although anytime I see Ankylomon's face, it feels like something's missing. And then I go check other art and go, no, that's pretty much how he looks.
No, nope. That's his face.
Yeah.
Just his face, yeah.
He's in my Rear Eyes party right now, so I'm very familiar with this face.
And then we get Shakuamon and Aramitama. I love the in the middle of the Jogress artwork. I like that so much that they did that again. I really do. Then Mist Memory Boost, which everyone fucking fell in love with this card immediately.
Yes.
Vamdemon teaching children. He really should not be around them, but that's amusing as hell.
Jiraimon's watching everything. It's all on the level.
Then Demon, which it feels like he should. Here's the thing: he's a secret card, so he's definitely going to get a parallel card. I get the feeling people would be upset if the parallel card is not the hoodie version.
Right. I honestly like the hoodie version better. Like
no, so do I.
His
This
regular
is
appearance is kind of goofy.
Bland. It's generically goofy devil evil. The hoodie version's more interesting to me.
Classy.
Yeah.
It's classier.
And then a surprise Frost Velgermon.
One I was not expecting even remotely soon.
So
one that I've never heard of.
It's one of the damn it.
From the Vital Bracelet.
I remember the name of the dim.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was the ice one. But yeah.
The one with Blugomon in it.
But yeah, they introduced an ice counterpart to Velgermon from Frontier. I really liked the art on this, but it's also very busy artwork.
Yeah.
Like
just because its tail is just it's a peacock.
You really have to pay attention. And then last night we got Master Tyrannomon. That's a weird one because I don't think most people know Master Tyrannomon exists. There's like, oh, it's a slightly different shade of black.
Because it looks so close to Dark Tyrannomon.
I think he needs to get a new name though, because if you look at the card and the lack of gradient, I think it's Christmas Tyrannomon.
Oh no.
La, 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 la,
it's
la,
like
la,
being
la,
at work.
Yeah, I don't get why he's both red and green. He's not a hybrid or anything.
Yeah, and then Fun Digica did a few previews. Great previews, actually. So Trubamon Vice, Rapidmon Armor, then Armor Texture, which is a remake of a card from the original card game, but with new art, and then Hikari from O2. These all actually look pretty great, to be honest.
Yeah, these are all good.
The bunnies.
Rapidmon Armor really looks great, though.
Yeah.
And then Card Battle.
The gold looks nice without being too yellow.
Yeah, it's that nice subtle kind of brass gold almost.
Yeah, it's not Magnamon gold.
Yes. And then Card Battle gave us Chimeramon to pair with the Digimon Kaiser. Which the instant we saw the Kaiser, it's like, Yeah, that we know who's gonna
Yeah.
show up next. Especially when they made the card white, it's like, yeah, this is really
Yeah,
one specific
really.
Digimon.
The white was a kind of a giveaway there.
Yeah,
It
it's like
wouldn't
I
surprise me
like
if
how
there
like
was.
Agumon's being thrown around in the background.
You almost
well,
would
there's a
think that
few.
there'd be a Chimeramon involved with one of his effects.
Yeah,
Doesn't look like there is.
yeah, and then they also gave us some previews of Starter Deck 11. So parallel cards for Greymon, Volcanic Dramon, Fugamon, everyone's favorite character Taichi, and another preview of that Gamamon card.
The Gamamon makes up for the Taichi.
Here's the thing: the Taichi card would be great if they would stop using that fucking art. It's the third. Every version of this card actually has the same artwork. They just changed the background.
Yeah. Yuck.
This is the exact same art they used for it. Just like do a flatter coloring of the one that showed up on that War Greymon card from Booster 7. Do a parallel of that.
I mean, if you're gonna use that art again, just make it into a retro card. Really blow people's minds.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that'd actually be a good idea because we actually don't have any of those in the set so far at all, do we? As far as
No.
them in their
Which
adventure outfits.
right.
Yeah, do that. Um, and then they're getting cheeky with their previews. They put it up like at 1 or 2 p.m. today for the new starter deck previews of the War Greymon and Gaia Force card that come in it. The War Greymon card's fucking nice.
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
like I have very little to say about that one. That's just one of those. Great. Gaia Force, great.
Very dynamic pose. I liked how like the leg is kind of like partially over the bounding box.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really works. They could have done something for that Tai Chi card. Something. And
Mhm.
then back to Premium Bandai USA as part of their holiday junktacular, whatever you want to call it. They're gonna have the Memorial Collection 2 as part of a set with a new Tamers playmat and call that Playmat and Card Set 1 Digimon Tamers. And they're also gonna have the DC1 Imperial Dramon set. I assume because they probably had to cancel so many events, especially in Japan, that they're just get selling them because.
Otherwise, just taking up
Well,
space.
I'm trying to remember what set was this art from. It was like 4 or 5, I think.
I want to say for the one with the Imperial Dramon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
want to
this.
say 4.
Yeah. So this art's is slowly becoming out of date. So time to use it. Um, and then they put up printable playmats. So this is interesting. The Starter Decks 7 and 8 in the Western version do not come with the paper playmats, probably because this is not worth the effort to deal with it. So they put up PDFs of all 4 freely so people could download English versions of them, print them. They are much higher resolution and cleaner than the normal print ones. It's like since these are actually printed professionally normally, they put up much nicer files. So these will print quite nicely for people. I'm trying to decide which one of these 4 I like best. It's probably the Dukemon one, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I kind of lean a little more towards All Force Vidramon.
See, I like Ulforce Vidramon more. I think the Dukemon one just has a slightly better look as a art on a mat for me. Um,
I
and
like
that
that there's more action with the Dukemon one. Like the shield kind of dominates the open area,
yeah,
whereas
exactly.
yeah.
Then not much to say about Fun Digica because it was basically just those card previews. Um, Card Battle had a match. I like they've only done this a few times. I like what they did in Card Battle where last time they had the players play with starter decks with no changes. It's exactly the starter decks. And this time it's the exact same players, but they're allowed to make a certain number of modifications to the deck. I like that because it's a rematch, but with an interesting twist where they made them use absolutely stock starter decks last time, and this time they get to replace them. It's a fun little touch, I think. And
Yeah, it
then
also kind of like advertised that hey, you can play with these right out of the
buy
box because
buy booster decks, basically. But
Yeah.
yeah. And then speaking of Dukemon, hey, Dukemon gets
more
a model
money.
kit again. So we knew they were going to announce something tamers. So they announced Dukemon for Figure Ice Standard. It will be out in
I really
June.
like it.
Yeah, it'll be out in June
Yeah.
for about $25. It looks very impressive, and this is one where they literally go, "It looks like the anime," and it's very strange to say that because they all have, but this one really fucking looks like right out of an anime.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
shading and like the lines feel very anime-ish.
I
Like
really like how they did the shield.
the multi-piece, or where they
Yeah.
actually molded in the Digimoji.
Yes, all
Yeah.
of that.
Both.
Yeah, it's very impressive looking for a four-part shield. It looks very nice. They point out that the lance they actually made silver, and the limbs look like they pose very well, actually. Yeah, for $25, I don't think you could do better as a Digimon Tamers fan, to be honest.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
absolutely fucking getting this one.
Yeah. This one I'm gonna try to get. I missed out on Amplified, so this one's on my list.
To be fair, I like this one more than Amplified. If I'm being honest.
I kind of do too.
Is
Yeah.
it looks so sleek. It just works so well. I really like the design of this one, and it's very nice to know that you don't have to import because they put Gallantmon on the
Yeah, they put
promo images.
Gallantmon on there, so it's kind of a giveaway.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
like
you're definitely gonna be able to find this on Amazon.
yeah, and they've done it before, but normally we don't quite know they're doing that until later when we see something or a promo image shows up later. This time it's the first images we see. So, and it's on every fucking image also that has the name. So we can be quite sure we'll be seeing this guy very soon.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Digimon Profile did an article about attributes. This seems to have upset many people because it does not match up with what they think of attributes being. And hey, look,
It's rock
Pulsemon's
paper
not dead.
scissors.
Pulsemon's not dead.
Yet.
It's weird that they go with Harrismon and Pulsemon and then Kunemon.
I've
They're
heard
all
of
yellow.
I've heard a few people say it's an electric theme, but I don't really think of electricity with Harrismon. Is
Yeah,
that one of his
no, me
things?
neither. No, not really.
Okay, I saw a few people
Someone
say
wanted to
that.
draw spiky bits.
He's Earth. He's more Earth than Rear Eyes. Well, those are the chips you need to evolve them.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure because I was sitting there going, I can see it, but I don't remember it. Yeah, they go over this. They explain babies don't have attributes. They also go over free and variable, which is very nice that they went to the effort.
Hmm.
They could have saved those two for later if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean they did a whole thing on hybrid,
Yeah,
which they revisit here.
yeah. And then it's time for a new poll that this is one of those that really has no meaning to it, but it feels more fun than some of the ones we've seen lately, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like which
Yeah,
language have you
it's
actually used that
Yeah.
you like?
If you've
yeah.
yeah,
This one's a little more.
it feels like it has something to it at least. If you've raised the dim card, which is the favorite you've raised, and they don't include the Metabots one because they don't want to deal with that, and they point out that their own that if you use the trial ones, vote for the true versions. I'm trying to decide which one I think is the best here, even though I haven't raised any of them. I
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh no. See, I'm looking at each one to go. The best one's probably Ancient Warriors, to be honest. Although I admit I like the Gamamon one.
Yep,
I'm
I'm just
leaning
gonna
more
vote
towards
Gamamon.
Dynasty of the Evil.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's gonna go Gamamon because Gamamon.
I'm on his baby.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now that we've all answered, who do we think will win?
Agumon.
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna say Impulse City's gonna win.
Put me
But just because
down.
it comes with them.
No, I think because, like, if you look at all these and you think about, the fun and excitement, it's gonna be the first one because it's not a year old yet. There's a whole
Yeah,
stack of them.
that's
I think a lot of people are gonna look at this and go, "Man, Pulsemon, that was really fun. It's the first one I did. It's neat. I'm gonna vote for that one." Is what I think is
watch
going to
Black War
happen.
Greymon win.
Adventure.
I'll put myself. Yeah, I'll go down. I'll put myself down for that one as being the just put a dime on that
Okay,
for no reason.
okay. I'm saying Impulse City. AR is saying Mad Black Roar.
Mad Black Roar.
Which did you go with, Dev?
I'm saying just Agumon, just because I know how many of those sold where they just keep fucking
Yeah,
reprinting it.
that was supposed
Yeah, that's
that was one where, in theory, I think it was supposed to be one printing, and they ended up doing 3 or 4 due to demand. And I think you can still get them because they just kept printing them because people were getting upset that it was going to be limited. And then
Yep.
I'm trying to decide who the wild card is that I could see just sweep in. I feel like the wild card is probably Gamamon. The issue here is that
mm,
anyone can vote even if they didn't raise, which means it becomes
yeah,
pure popularity. Like, I haven't done any, and AR hasn't done any. We're effectively guessing what we think will win. Like,
yeah.
Gamamon, not enough people have it for it to actually win. But
In theory, yeah.
yeah, but Gamamon
Yeah, let's
needs to
see how
do
this
this,
let's see how the list compares to actual
and
sales.
somehow the winner will be Doraemon mysteriously.
Yeah,
You
Exactly.
so
know,
yeah,
if they
Omegamon's
make a
not on there,
Doraemon gym,
so
my money's going to that.
Yeah.
I'm
And then
waiting.
a few more. I like they put up a few more photos of that display as the sun was setting from the Bandai building. They really need to pull that costume out of there because it makes it feel like, oh, they don't have anything to do promotion wise. Go put that motherfucker at a soccer game or something.
Just have us leave and just start walking around.
Yeah.
be
I mean,
dancing around a
I
karaoke
understand why
place or
it's
something.
I understand why it's there. You want to save some promotion for after the show's been there a couple months. You don't want to, completely front load it, and you want to have that nice display at the Bandai building. Do something with that suit though. And then we have episode art. Gamamon and Sirenmon look so cute on this, doesn't it?
It
I love
looks
how
like it should be a Christmas card.
Gamamon's notes are all
Fucked up.
crooked and fuzzy. Yeah.
To be fair,
As if Sirenmon sang better.
yeah. And then Jordan Bays put up art of Ruli that they drew after the episode, which they helped animate it. Always nice to see animation staff of the show excited to work on it. I'm pretty sure we see more of Ruli in this art than we do in the episode.
Wow.
And then we have questions. So you guys in the chat can throw those up. And the first question is, do we have anything to suggest a Digimon Adventure 2020 dub yet? So you would think if we did, the clickbaiters would have gotten hold of it, but they don't pay attention. The answer is actually yes.
Yeah, you said that there have been a couple hints
No,
here and there.
there's been a stronger hint specifically. I won't say exactly what. Got to make the clickbaiters look themselves. At least one of the old cast members has said they're not in it. They're going with a new cast. Now that could easily be, they think they're being asked because fans know a dub is happening, or there's been odd stuff like that before. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Or they
But
think that, yeah.
yeah,
Or
they
they
think it's
assume that one, or they assume a dub is
yes,
happening and just
yeah,
haven't been asked.
yeah. But that is the closest we have to any actual evidence. Is one of the cast members going, "No, we're not in it. They're going with a new cast for everyone." But
Yeah,
that could
That
That
could just be respond. Yeah, that depends on the question specifically how it was posed to them. Like, are you
the
doing the
question.
new Digimon dub or something?
It was someone in a booth and giving a vague hint of what they're recording without, and someone the
Yeah.
question was Digimon question mark, and the response was, no, they're going with a new cast for the show. Not in
Okay.
it. Yeah. So that's one of those where
Okay.
that could be
That could
taken
go
as
either
proof,
way.
or that could
Yeah.
be the person thinking that they're being asked by fans because they know a dub's happening, which has
Yeah.
literally happened before. So we'll see.
Yes.
Because it is that proof? Not really. It's clickbait proof though.
It's enough to
Mhm.
get the algorithm churning.
Yeah. But they have to find it by themselves. I'm not telling them who it was or where it was either. Doesn't mean it was on Twitter. Got to work for that clickbait. Cootie Fox says, "Do we see them doing anything bigger at the X Antibody Digimon with all the stuff coming out?" So there is stuff coming out, but it doesn't really feel like it. It's not like when we were getting the Digimon X and it felt like stuff was
Yeah.
happening.
It's side products and
Yeah.
stuff we're getting. It's
The
like they're
the
just
door
using they're
branding.
expanding the
Yeah.
catalog a little bit basically,
Yeah. I
just
would
to get some
say
extra stuff out.
the plush is very nice, but at the moment we only have proof of under 200 people wanting it. I think it will sell quite. I think it will sell well for what it is, but we don't actually know the demand for that product.
And also they didn't go in saying we're going to do something with X antibody. They're going to go in saying here's your options, see which one comes out of it,
Yeah,
and Dorumon happened to win.
yeah. And then the accessory stuff. It's all very nice, but that's all very minus some of the acrylic stand stuff where they make it a bit more 3D. That's all kind of generic stuff. It looks nice, and if you like X antibody stuff, it's like your time to get stuff. It really is. But it doesn't feel like it
Preceding anything important.
no. It's not like when you look at the $350 Pale Dramon and you go, yeah, we know it's O2's time for a bit. It's more generic stuff. And here's the thing: there's a lot of ways X antibody stuff could happen. And the person asked the question is now like, oh, the Udamon cards. There's cards for everything at this point.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, I could point out that same set seems to have more vital bracelet cards, and it doesn't mean it's that you have to find stuff at the.
Unique to
Yeah, especially when you consider
X
that for
antibody.
this chunk of the year, we're getting sets almost every fucking month.
Mhm.
Because we got
We go over through a million cards every
yeah,
show.
but like August we had EX01, correct? Then September we had Booster 7. Then October we had starters 9 and 10. This month we're getting a starter and a booster set. And then next month we have at least that Tamers EX2 set. It's that they're making so many fucking cards that, I mean, Fugamon's getting his second or third card at this point. And that's not a Digimon that anyone knows outside of hardcore fans because it's just Ogremon painted
It's an
orange.
Ogremon palette
Yeah.
swap, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I think he's shown up once or twice in the
I
anime, and
think
not in anything important.
if you're a hardcore X Antibody fan, what you should honestly do is go, wow, this is some neat stuff. I hope it continues. I would not take this as being like X Evolution 2's
Yeah,
coming out next year.
it's not building it. It's not building to anything, but hey, enjoy it. Get some of
Yeah.
this stuff.
Enjoy it and keep buying because that is how stuff can happen. But it's not, at this point, it's not like the doorway to stuff.
Just
And then
grab the shit you like while you can.
Mhm.
Then someone asked, with it happening more due to the last few years, how do you feel about streaming new movies at home? Does it feel like this is about Dune?
I don't know. I'm in favor. Like I don't
Yes.
if I don't have to go to a movie theater ever again, I'm not going to complain.
So it's weird. I like going to the movie theater. Like prior to the pandemic, uh, and AR was around long enough, with podcasts and everything, that there was a decent point where you could probably guess I was going at least once a week on average. Because you also have to
Mhm.
remember, I live like across the street from a movie theater. It is
Yeah.
not hard for
Yeah,
me to get to one.
I'm 20 minutes away from the
Yeah,
nearest theater.
and I like going to
About
movie
the
theater. The
same
problem
for
is,
me. It's like a special event. It's like I
well,
do it like 2 or 3
that
times a
that's
year.
that's the issue. Is the experience has gotten kind of shit. It's not cheap. It's
Mhm.
like I decided to replace my stovetop popcorn popper in the last few days. I got the new one and a bunch of popcorn, and Dev's very excited because one of the popcorn that I hadn't ordered in years, I told her that I'm pretty sure she can eat without worrying about teeth problems.
Yes, I need to order some of that shit
Yeah,
come
so
You
payday.
should
like
have put some of that in her package.
it was shipped before I got any of it, and was able to confirm that it did pop as soft as I remembered.
Ah.
Because
It's
Dev has
okay. My family is like a slut for
yeah,
popcorn, so
Dev has
even if I
teeth.
get in bulk, it'll be eaten.
Yeah, Dev had teeth concerns about eating normal popcorn, and this is
Yeah.
it
No,
pops
I
small.
remember that
Yeah, it pops
conversation.
small. It's soft. There's no hulls at all. It's literally it pops up tiny and cute. And I think she was gonna get a microwave popper. I showed her, and we will get her comment on that. But like, I bought a new popper. I bought a bunch of popcorn samples to try stuff out, and that was only like $35. That's like
You notice
a
how
ni-
we're talking about the popcorn more than we're talking about the
well,
movie-going
but here's the thing.
experience outside of the popcorn?
But that is part of the experience, is having nice popcorn and everything.
It is, but, like, we're talking like, that's easily replicated.
Yep. Especially like and it just came today, and I will probably use in the next few days. The specific type of buttery salt they use in theaters, where if you don't want to, have you ever gotten popcorn in a movie theater? You don't get butter on, you still go, this still tastes buttery.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah, no, I
specific
that's a good
brand of
find.
salt.
If you can get that good buttery
Oh no,
salt, that's a good
it's
find.
very cheap. It's called Flavacol. It comes in milk cartons. It's dirt cheap.
Nice.
I
That
literally
stuff
got
makes me sick, sadly.
Yeah, I literally got a carton of it. It's like $3 or $4. It will last for hundreds of batches of popcorn. You can do it at home very easily. But it means, I can just sit down and watch the movie. If I want to drink, I don't need to worry if I'm gonna have to get up and pee during the movie. The experience does have issues, especially since
Yeah.
I watch movies for a living. My TV's set up for this shit. And here's the thing, and this is where a lot of people don't like talking about it. If you go and buy a cheap TV nowadays, you're still getting a pretty decent experience, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like, there's you could there's 65-inch TVs you can get right now for 250, 300. And I'm not gonna pretend that it's gonna be a great TV, but for sitting there watching a movie in a living room with your family, you you
Yeah.
you can't beat that value. That's going to the if you have if you're a family of four, that's just going to the movies a, a few times.
Yeah, that's like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, pay for
Maybe
one.
less depending on how much with refreshments you
Yeah,
get.
especially if you take into account based on your cable company, your phone company, you probably get a streaming service free. I mean, if you subscribe to T-Mobile, they pay for Netflix for you. If
Mhm.
you
Yep.
subs,
That's
if
what
you
I
Yeah,
sub,
have.
I think my wife has an
yeah,
Apple subscription I haven't taken advantage of
yeah,
yet.
exactly. If you have Spectrum or not Spectrum, if you have anything from AT&T, they give you HBO Max for free. You can.
Mhm.
Is it going to be as nice as sitting in theater? No, but I, I love the movie theater, but it's kind of nice just to not fucking deal with it.
Yep.
So I'm perfectly fine with it. Although I also admit that it makes it harder to sit down and watch a movie. If I've paid for a ticket, it's set, I pay for a ticket for the first night of a movie at 7 p.m. I'm going to the damn thing unless I absolutely can't go.
Yeah.
Last night I was like, oh, I think I will finally watch Shang-Chi. And then something caught my attention. It's like, I'll watch it tomorrow or in a few
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
That's the main negative is you can lose your attention. But yeah,
Just being busy as shit.
no, exactly.
Mhm.
Joe, your question about the adventure cast kind of was covered by the first question, I think. So rewind later and you'll get your answer pretty solidly. Or do we want to take this as a separate question, since we're not 100%
Would take
sure?
that as a separate
Yeah,
question. It's more focusing on the
yeah,
voice actors that didn't come back for Try,
you're
if
right.
they would
You're right.
potentially come
So
back for the reboot.
so Joe's question is do we think an Adventure 2020 dub would get voices back for characters that they couldn't get for Try that are still around, like Kari or Bergermon? Um,
I think let's take this in a universe where they are actually attempting to get old voice actors back.
Uh, I guess it just basically runs down to the location of the actors and
yeah,
scheduling.
yeah. Well, see,
Well, not so much anymore. Most actors that are still doing voice acting
have
have
stuff
their
at
own
home.
studios by
Yeah.
now.
Um,
I don't know if that applies to Laura Jill Miller, but I'm sure
Yeah,
she's still doing
Laura Jill
stuff.
Miller. It's odd. I don't, for a very long time, we're reasonably sure it was scheduling, and there's been more information to suggest it may have actually been it being a union issue.
Yeah, that's more likely because she does a lot of Disney Channel stuff now,
Yeah.
like a lot
So
of Disney Junior
yeah.
stuff. So that might
So,
be like it
so
would be a little bit of a
yeah,
backtrack.
yeah. So here's the thing. Let's pretend Netflix does gets the show, and Toei has not prepaid for a dub. Netflix has a contract to do all their. I don't remember what the studio's name is. But they were very unhappy when the Japanese companies were doing their own dubs, and I don't remember what show it was, but one of them they
Mhm.
actually pulled the dub because it was really badly done. So
Mhm.
Netflix has a contract to do union dubs for everything, for all their stuff that isn't pre-done. In that
Yeah.
case, you could get Laura Jill Miller back, but
Yeah.
yeah, it
And
gets.
then it's weirdly, I can imagine them losing other people.
Oh no, absolutely. There's you could very well end up with getting back Brian Donovan as someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could have Brian Donovan as Taichi potentially in a case like that. I'm not sure that's a smart move because I think you
Yeah.
confuse the audience, but you could.
I mean, yeah, Brian Donovan does other voices though.
No,
It would not
absolutely
be guaranteed to sound like Davis.
no, but
You do not want Davis and Laura Jill Miller as Taichi and Hikari.
yeah, but yeah. So could they? Yes. Most of the people who weren't in it, it was scheduling or big question mark is basically the thing.
Yeah,
Um,
circumstantially, potentially, but the
yeah,
whole cast, I no, we'll
yeah.
say that.
Um, let's go ahead and answer Matthias's one before the next one that was sent in. That we've kind of covered this, Matthias. He's asking, are we worried about how episodic Ghost Game's being? It being episodic isn't the issue. It's that it's being episodic and it's not doing much.
Yeah,
Like here's the thing.
yeah.
If
I mean,
these
we expected it to be a
yeah,
little bit episodic, but I think we wanted a little bit
It's
more
the genre.
progression
yeah,
by this point.
yeah. So we'll see
The
where that
genre
comes up.
stuff hasn't been the genre stuff I think has
Yeah,
been really good. It's just
and
that they're not doing enough with the genre stuff
yeah,
at this point.
and as for the comment about he remembers someone met in interviews that mentioned it'll be horror themed, people need to get over that. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It is horror themed, it is not horror. And I
Yeah, it
know,
is definitely horror
yes,
themed,
it is not horror though. It's not.
but at the same time, I think that these, if it can be episodic, I'd just like to see a little bit more building on
Yes.
Progression.
what they're playing with.
Yeah. So are we concerned? Yes, but not specifically because it's episodic. It's but because of what they seem to be doing with it and that they need to do something soon or else you do lose that kid audience.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's where the problem lies. I think if someone's happy with how Ghost Game is right now, they're not going to be bothered by 50 more episodes of this. I think the problem is seeing the cracks and being worried about it.
yeah. This is the part where it's like, okay, this format is not going to last another 50 episodes.
Exactly.
It's just going to stagnate
Yeah.
I crave
too
violence.
quickly.
Yeah. And then someone asked us, is there any stuff we're looking to get during holiday sales?
I've got my kids list. So no.
I don't think I have anything really on the list that I don't
Yeah,
have.
I don't even know what's coming out for the holidays.
Honestly, the stuff I'm looking forward to is basically stuff I worked on that I want to see people be excited about, like Aiko finally getting a good release.
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
out like days before Christmas. That's one that I'm really looking forward to just seeing people get. And I've already seen it a ton of times, but that's one of those ones where a year ago, if you had asked people what's an anime that will never get a nice release, Aiko was the
Mm,
first one on the
yeah,
list. Or that
yeah.
or that Ronin Warriors has been remastered. The
Aiko's
dub
another one I had on VHS.
Yeah. And the dub's been synced to the new masters, and I'm excited to see people be happy that this stuff is coming, because a lot of this, the last time Ronin Warriors came out, I was like 18 or 20. It came out, Bandai put it out on DVD. You bought the Japanese show, and because it didn't sync, you would flip over the DVD to get the dub. And
Oh
then they
my
re-released it in a
god.
box set like in 2003 or 2004, and that was it. Any release past then has not dealt with the dub because it's been too much to deal with. But that's literally what the original DVDs for Ronin Warriors was. Samurai Trooper on one side, Ronin Warriors at the other. You'd buy it in like 4 episode increments.
Oh
Hmm.
god, I remember those days.
Those are
I
the days.
No, exactly. So I'm more looking forward to seeing people get stuff and be excited, to be honest, because I have most of the stuff I need. I have shiny new popcorn thing. So yeah, Dev, what are you looking forward to?
Honestly, there's not much that's coming out like for the holiday that I expect to be on sale, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, there's stuff I want to pick up, but I don't expect any discounts on
And
it.
also I'm an adult, so
No.
I also
Yeah.
get intrigued by other stuff. Like if there's a big sale on cookware,
Oh shit!
that
I
catches
forgot.
my eye
I
more
could have
than a
set up a joke.
product.
I forgot. I actually did buy something that was on a holiday sale. It just wasn't like a, like happy fun thing.
Wasn't fun
Uh,
stuff. Yeah, it was
yeah.
adult stuff.
I could have made a joke though, because it's an air fryer, and that takes us to Nagatoro and those translation complaints, and we could have done that with Jellymon. But yeah, got a nice big one of those on sale from Costco. Put it on the countertop. But like that,
There you go.
that's not like a fun announcement. It's not like, oh, I'm
There
looking
you
for.
go. There you go. It counts. Happy holidays.
Yeah,
Let's move
it's
on.
not like, oh, I'm gonna buy a Simpsons arcade machine. It's, I bought a tiny oven that
Yeah,
fits next to my larger oven. Um,
air
Makes
fryers
you
are
feel
great though.
yeah.
So
accomplished.
enjoy it.
No, I did barbecue chicken and mushrooms in it last night. It came out very nice. I'm very happy.
Perfect.
Um, Last chance for you guys in the chat, because we only have 2 more prepared ones. Someone wants to know, will we get nicer Ghost Game figures? Probably.
Absolutely.
Um, and then Diego wants to know, what did we think has a better chance of happening first? An amplified Dukemon Crimson mode or an amplified Grani? So this one's interesting
Crimson
because
mode.
I the answer is Crimson mode, unless it's premium Bandai only. In which case, they will just take the existing Dukemon kit, put it in a box with new parts for Grani, and then sell it as a special edition.
Yeah, I definitely see them doing that.
Because then you don't have to do a full kit. You can just do Grani, and I'm sure there's some sort of weird, spaceship surfboard that they can, change the mold to make it that. But if you were to only pick one or the other, probably Crimson mode. I would guess, to be honest.
Yeah, because they could use like the base mold for and then just add the wings and everything, because they don't have to remold everything.
Oh, wait, that one had a lot of pegs on it, didn't it?
I don't know. I did not get that
I
particular.
I think that one had a lot of the peg holes. You could do a special set at Premium Bandai where it comes with amplified Dukemon and amplified Grani, and Grani can come apart to snap on to Crimson mode.
Ooh.
That'd be neat. They're not gonna do that, but that would be neat. Or if they did do it, it had that weird fucking ugly face of the Dragon Imperial Dramon. Where it's just like, where that thing. Every time I see that face, it's like someone screaming.
I still want to see if the Paladin mode,
Can
can still
transform.
transform.
Yeah, it's weird because we've all sat here, we've all gone. There's no reason for it not to. It's the same fucking figure minus the wings. But also, you'd think they would say it because they've done that figure before. The original Imperial Dramon transforming figure, from
Yeah, so you think it would
2000.
be it'd be more of a pain in the ass to change the mold so it doesn't
Yeah,
transform.
I assume it's just a case of it's just
Not
not
worth it.
relevant to the toy. They're just not saying it. Um, and last question, which Cootie put up one more. What is our favorite art of the cards that came out? I'm gonna limit this to the new card game though, because I think that's the intent of the question. Is
Are
like
we
the current
talking
card
new
game.
card game or like the ones that we're talking about this week?
Uh,
Because if we're talking new card game,
well,
I have no answer. There's
they
too
say
many.
they say of the cards that came out. Let's just go ahead and assume it's anything from the current card game.
Okay, I don't know. I have no answer.
I
Because
really
there's
like
no way
the
I can narrow it down.
Dora Greymon one because that one would just look so fucking cool.
I'm trying to think. What is the one?
Reboot Tai Chi.
But although if it was this set, this most recent one, it would have to be Vomdemon's item card.
Yeah, the Miss Memory
That's
Boost.
fun.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's my
if it
favorite of the new bunch for
okay, so
sure.
if it's just that, then so I'm like mentally like flipping through stuff.
That's what it's like. It takes so long to mentally flip through all of them
No,
that
and
it's like
yeah, the problem is
that's you
I'll think
can't.
of a card and I'll go, this is my choice, and then I'll go, there has to be something better. Like I thought of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Vidramon card punching the Tyrannomon, not Tyrannomon, Triceramon, and it's like this is literally a different camera shot from V Tamer.
And
It's like
meanwhile I've already forgotten what that card looks like.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the problem is there's too many cards and they're all very pretty. That's the other thing
yeah,
is
there aren't very many duds other than
yeah.
the retro sets.
No, exactly. And that's why we're so negative about that set even now is some sort of
Yeah.
cleaned up background or something was necessary for that to make them stand
Hmm.
out, and it wasn't. Um, I'm just trying to think. It's probably one of the multi-card layouts, but I don't know which one to be honest. It's just too many. There's been some nice ones though. I think that's about it. AR, what have you done in the
Somebody
past?
somebody for next week should ask what's the favorite card that you actually own. I think that I might have more fun with.
I'm pretty sure the
Because then
only
I can.
ones I'm pretty sure all I own are the 00 promo cards and the I have the magazine which came with um Arrow, was it Arrow Vidramon UL Force? I haven't even opened the card pack that came with it.
I don't remember.
I think it's
Yeah.
those two, but yeah, it's
But if you narrow it down that way, I think I might have more fun with it.
yeah. Someone
I mean,
send that.
I only have a starter pack, 2 boosters, and those 6-pack
Yeah,
that they mailed to
someone
everybody.
send Cootie, send that in for next time, and we'll get you a better answer than us fumbling around for a few minutes trying to think. AR, past week, current week, what's going on with you?
I answered a couple questions last week on Tumblr. I don't remember what they are. I have to go check here. But I'm
Very
on
exciting then.
Twitter. Yeah, I'm on Twitter as not really. I'm on Twitter at First Agent ARP, and I'm. Somebody actually asked me what I thought about Sora being in Smash. Like, what the heck channel am I on? The heck channel do you think this is? Actually, no, I actually answered my Karada question. That's a pretty interesting one. Basically answering how would each of the different season casts deal with having Karada as a villain? Just the idea of having a psychotic human and permanent killing Digimon. How would each of the seasons deal with that? That's actually kind of interesting. So yeah, I'm on Tumblr at firstagent.tumblr.com.
Okay. Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read?
Considering this is the first time we've seen him in a long time, Let them look at Master Tyrannomon.
People are actually gonna read the Dark Tyrannomon one instead.
Me.
Watch Wikimon is linked to forward them automatically. You search Master Tyrannomon, it forwards you to Dark Tyrannomon by mistake.
And then I can be
I
found.
wouldn't be surprised at this point.
I can be found at With the Will as always. And sometime I'm not going to say what, just because I'll let them announce it. I will be a guest on some other podcast next month. And next
It's
month you
okay. I had Podultry when the reboot finished. It's fine.
nah. And then next month, The Glory of Gum. And I hope before that episode you guys will both watch at least Arion, because that one will be a fun chaser to go with the gum.
But it would Chaser to go with the gum implies that we watch it after the gum.
The gum, no, I meant the gum is a chaser to Arion.
The gum is
Because
a chaser to Arion. Okay.
it is one of those early Sunrise films when they were kind of going nuts.
Ooh. Okay.
So it, I don't lean into comparing stuff quite as much as other people do, like going, if you like X or you know X, you'll understand why. But it kind of skews to, like, think of an old fantasy type novel or show, but like huge scale. Very interesting, and yeah.
I'll set aside some time for that
Yeah.
between my health shifts and retail.
So we will catch you guys next time. Thank you for showing up. Bye.
I
Bye.